Okay, well, I'm out here in Lucerne Valley for an estate auction. It's way out in the middle of nowhere. Basically, you go to Victorville, head east for about 15, 20 miles. And that's basically where I'm at. So there's basically acres of cars. I guess someone must have passed. And this is kind of like their collection of like vehicles that they sort of left out here out in the desert. And we're going to go check this out. I don't know. All right, so there's a lot of neat stuff here. Check out this Dodge military vehicle. Looks like it might be set like on a later truck cab, early truck cab. This thing looks like it actually was probably drivable like fairly recently. I'm gonna see if the door opens. This doesn't look too bad. This is actually really cool. It's got like kind of like a more modern seat for comfort. And kind of like a cool flatbed. And the last tag on it is actually 2010, so probably wasn't parked that long ago, and it might even run. Just a really interesting truck. It'd be cool someone to get it. Maybe just leave it all patinaed and just kind of cruise it. Even the tires look decent on this one. All right, so I lifted the hood on the old Dodge truck here. This one's actually got a 4-cylinder Cummins diesel in it. So probably something someone built, but kind of cool. It's got a modern a dual master with a power booster. But I think with that little Cummins, man, that makes this a really, really cool, nice little rig for somebody. So we'll just have to see what it goes for. Here's some of the older cars in the auction. This is probably an early 50s Packard sedan. Looks like an old mild custom. It's got the baby moons on it. It's got an old school spotlight with the mirror on the back. The mirror's broken. It's got the dice right there. So it needs a lot of work, but I don't know. It'd be a really interesting project for somebody. I'm not sure it's under the hood, but this thing has seen better days, but could live on. It's got some like Frenchton taillights there. Looks like it came out of Virginia, and it's called the Pork Chop. So, you know, this is something interesting. It's got checkered flag jalopy showdown sticker in the back window. I'm guessing it was probably custom that was done like in the 70s or 80s, and then just kind of got parked and over time kind of weathered into what you see here. But definitely something that could be brought back. And they got this 1940 Oldsmobile custom as well, and same thing, probably custom done in the 70s or 80s. It's got the tailpipe coming out the side. It's got like a later Pontiac tilt column there. It's like an AM/FM radio in the late 70s, like GM one. And it's definitely been chopped, but kind of interesting. It's got a dealer plate from Ohio, so it's brought all the way out here probably from Ohio. French, like I said, the Frenchton taillights with the purple, with the blue dots there. And man, this thing is kind of cool. I don't know what it's going to go for, but it'd be a really, really funky cruiser. So it's got some cracking there. It looks like the fenders in this must be plastic, or maybe it just has a lot of Bondo in it. But yeah, kind of cool. We're going to check out more of this auction. All right, so I got the hood open on the Oldsmobile. Looks like it's got a small block Chevy in it. So it's way been updated. It's got a more, a power booster with a dual master. So it's a place for the battery there. No inner fenders though. So, but yeah, definitely something that could be put back on the road. And that's like a smog arrow motor. I feel like it's got the EGR on the side there, although it's not hooked up. But yeah, something someone probably built many years ago, and hopefully it will return to the road. Come out here, there's just literally just stuff everywhere. I mean, everything from cool classics to like later stuff that maybe somebody won't restore, such as this the Chevy pickup here. Wow, a lot of interesting stuff, and I'll try to bring you the stuff that I think is really cool. Here's an example of a couple of the old F-Series pickups. There's a F-100 pickup truck, probably like mid-60s. I'm not going to look up the year. Still has the black plates on it. This one's got a later camper shell on it. It looks like it's there and it's like rust-free. Definitely something someone could restore. There's this F-250. It has a old 60s camper shell on it. Once again, I mean, it doesn't look terrible. Someone could actually definitely restore this, but we'll see. There's a Studebaker Champ pickup truck. So these were kind of neat because actually, like, from here forward basically was a Studebaker Lark, and of course it was a pickup truck in the back. This one's got storage for intake manifolds for all sorts of cars. But I'll show you the front. It looks kind of like a Studebaker Lark. There's one of the Econoline vans. There's a few first gens. This is kind of neat. This is a Corvair van. This is like an air-cooled rear-engined van there. It's got some motorcycles. I haven't seen any scooters. You know me. I'm looking out for scooters. It's an old Dodge van that was used for Apple Valley School District, which Apple Valley's was just a few miles down the road on the way in. But here's a first-gen window van. Checking this thing out. He's got a bunch of stuff. A lot of these just have stuff stored in them. So this one looks like he's robbed some parts off of it. So it's missing the speedometer cluster. Looks like probably doesn't have an engine, but lots of good like sheet metal parts. It's got old Krager mags on it. It's probably somebody's boogie van back in the day. Looks like at least this side the headlight bezel's good on the one side. Definitely some good parts. So it might be a little too far gone, especially since it's a window van to restore. But it is a shorty, which is cool. I mean, it would be a good project for somebody. Back east, they would definitely restore this. There's a late 60s Chevy Corvair. And this one's actually in pretty good shape. This guy had a lot of Corvairs, it seems like. So there's definitely a lot out here. I mean, not a high dollar car, but this one appears to be pretty rust free out here in the desert. Of course, all the soft stuff's all baked. But whether it gets used as a parts car or gets restored and put back on the road, I mean, I'd say either of those are definitely a possibility with this one. All right, for you Mopar guys, here's a 67 Dodge Coronet. This one's seen better days. It's rust free, but it is a four-door. Looks like everything's baked as you expect on just about all these cars that have been out here in the desert for a while. But I don't know if I can get the hood open. See if the hood opens. Probably guessing like a 318. It looks like the latch isn't cooperating. I can feel it moving, but it's, oh, there it is. Okay. Oh yeah, there's nothing left of that engine. So it would need an engine, but someone needs sheet metal parts, or they're redoing a Coronet two-door or something. This would be one to grab. All right, here's a truck project for somebody. This is a 62 Chevy C10 pickup. It's got a broken windshield. A lot of stuff's available reproduction for these, so I can't imagine you couldn't put this thing back together. But being that it's out here in the desert, looks like it doesn't have any rust. Of course, the bed floors on these are wooden. So it's the black plate. Looks like it was last tagged in 1995. So it's been off the road for a while. Like I said, the tail lights are gone, but I said most of that stuff's available. It's missing one fender. I'm pretty sure they're probably restamping the fenders for these, as popular as they are. Anybody correct me on that if they're not remanufacturing fenders for these. Unfortunately, you don't get that sweet patina, but I mean, sure, this thing would be pretty awesome. Get it going with like an LS swap. It's like it does need an engine and transmission, but I mean, the bones are there. You can either have it as a really cool patina truck or restore it. And for the Malaise crowd, here's a 74 Mustang 2. So it's a pre-smog Mustang 2 fastback. I saw this online. This one actually has the 4-cylinder in it. But since it's pre-smog, I mean, someone could get this, do like a later 302, like an EFI 302, make it into like kind of like a cool, reliable Mustang 2. I mean, there's no rust on it. Looks like the plastic parts of the bumpers are pretty well baked from the desert heat. But other than the wheels, which you'd have to find your own and bring them out here to get this thing out of here. But wow, it's not in too bad a shape. And you don't see a lot of Mustang 2s, especially the fastbacks anymore. I just had to video this crazy chopper thing. It's probably from like the 60s or 70s. Judging by that front disc brake, I would say 70s. It's got the full fiberglass fairing, a fiberglass bucket seat. Of course, the fiberglass is totally toast from the sun. But check this out. It's got a Hurst shifter there. Looks like it probably had, I'm guessing, a Volkswagen transaxle on the back, because a lot of the trike guys would use the Volkswagens for that purpose. But this thing's pretty cool. I'm sure this thing was pretty awesome when it was built back in the day. Okay, this one I was looking at on the online, but it's already bid up to pretty much what I'm willing to pay for it, which means it's probably going to go higher. This is like an early 40s, I think it's a 41 Dodge. It's like a military truck, like a half-ton, that's been converted into some sort of like desert buggy or a Jeep, if you will. And it's got the flathead 6-cylinder engine, which I just checked. It actually turns by hand, so most likely it will run. But this thing is just absolutely wild. You can see they cut the cab, left this open, but man, this thing is just totally awesome. This would be cool to put it back on the road. It's got a gas tank probably out of an old truck or something on it. But you really need to see someone put this thing back on the road and just roll it around town, because this is just totally awesome. It's got the split rim tires, which are super sketchy, but what are you going to do? But and it still has the post for the windshield, so they must have, I'm guessing they might have modified or made a windshield fit, or maybe that is the original military windshield. But this thing's pretty sweet, I think. So let me know what you think about it in the comments. There's a super clean old Chevy Greenbrier Corvair wagon van. This one's got like 73 plates from Arizona. It's got the Krager SS mags. This one looks really restorable. No rust on it. Looks like somebody tried to put later seats in it. These window vans usually would have the seats, especially this one. It's got the full door panels and the crank windows and everything else. But man, I mean, this thing is like super clean. So anyone looking to get a Corvair van would be very, very happy with this one. It does have some dents on this side. Nothing too terrible. Looks like, oh, it has some Bondo put in there, so it definitely did have some body work done to it, so it's not original paint. But still, these do not come up very often for sale, and even the roof rails aren't even bad. And then they got this Chevy Kingswood wagon for all you wagon fans. Dash is completely destroyed, interior is destroyed, everything rubber is destroyed, but the body looks good. So these are really, really cool. This is the clamshell wagon. See, it's got the button there, and the window goes up, the tailgate goes down. This is these are becoming increasingly rare, especially since a lot of them were used for demolition derby. But something someone could definitely do something with. Okay, well, here's another really awesome first-gen Econoline out here. This guy has a few first-gens. I think he's got a couple second-gens even. This one's a shorty. It was used by Rawlings Mechanical in North Hollywood there on Lankershim. So in my old stomping grounds when I had my shop. It's missing the speedometer, which the other one was too. But yeah, it's got a bunch of junk in it. Who knows, there might even be parts for this thing in here. Although I kind of doubt it. I don't know if I can get the cover up on it. Motor's there, radiator is not. So it's got the straight 6. So it could be put back on the road, especially since it's a shorty here. Shorty panel Econoline. Kind of cool just to leave the patina and the lettering on the side. It's kind of hard to get in a lot of these places. I'm really glad I wore jeans today. That was a good decision. But coming around the back, I mean, the back's not terrible. So it's a blue license plate. What's the last tag on it? Last tag is 97 on the blue plate. Roof isn't bad. Like I said, someone could definitely, I'm gonna have to go all the way around. All right, so continuing on the other side of the first gen Rawlings Mechanical Econoline here. This one actually it's just full of junk. Who knows what's in there? You might even get some prizes. It's got the old holder there for the for pipes or whatever they put along the side. This one's actually a barn door, so oh, these ones aren't put back in right. I think they're wired shut, so I'm not going to mess with that at all. But look at this. There's some damage there where they had the front mount for holding the pipes, as well as a mount there. But as I said, this was definitely restorable, especially being a shorty paneled out first gen. And we'll have to see what it goes for, but this would be kind of a cool project for somebody. Here's one of the more amazing things I've found. This is a 60s Jeep. I think it's a FC-150 tow truck. It's even got a tow bar, so if you want to tow the tow truck, you can. And it's four-wheel drive, so I'm guessing it might have been used out here in the desert for towing like vehicles out of ditches and stuff, since they can get the small vehicle down like dirt trails and things like that. But very utilitarian inside. It's like the motor is there. It looks like everything is like super complete. I know this is going to go like way out of any price range I can even imagine. Four-wheel drive, Ford control. You got the boom on the back. And this thing is just absolutely amazing. It's got black plates on it, front and back. And it's just such a neat piece here. And someone will probably get this thing and restore it. But amazing. Check out where the spare tire mounts are on the side. What a really cool tow truck. That would be great for anyone's collection. Or this actually isn't in the auction, but who knows, it might come up for sale. This is actually a 50s Glastron boat. This is like one of the early fiberglass boats, and they're kind of designed to look like a 50s car. So like very futuristic mid-century boat. But these are kind of rare, and they're kind of collectible as boats go, since it's like having like a 57 Chevy or like a 59 Cadillac boat almost. See, it's a Glastron. And my friend Jimmy actually had one of these, I think briefly, that he sold. But obviously needs some work since it's fiberglass and it's been sitting out here in the desert. But man, what an amazing find. There's another oddity out here. This looks like a cart, desert buggy made from like a 55 or 56 Ford like sedan. Look at the dash, look at the speedometer. It's like 55 Ford, I believe, or 56 Ford. But made into a cart. The little mini truck bed on the back. I mean, a lot of guys would do these back in the day, back when Jeeps weren't around. They look like Pontiac bucket seats. These are definitely Pontiac, like from like a early 60s Bonneville or something like that, or a Grand Prix. Still has the original plate on it. So it's got a 6-cylinder engine in there, like a Ford 6. Of course, it's stuck from being sitting out here in the desert. But this thing is kind of wild, man. Someone wants to pick that up and put it back on the road. I'm not even sure this is even in the auction because I don't see a number on it. But it's wild. This is all Bondo here, and it's all cracking. But what a weird item. All right, getting back to the cars, here's a 51 Kaiser. Check this thing out. And it's pretty well complete. Looks like the spark wires are out, so that might be a clue as to why it was parked. Like I said, all the rubber stuff is toast from being out here in the desert. It's got had somebody shooting BBs at it. But if you look at it, it's pretty well rust-free if some Kaiser guy wants it. I mean, not sure if it's restorable, but definitely really cool patina. So I wanted to put it on the road and just keep the really amazing patina on this one. Oh, it does have some rust over here, so perhaps this car didn't live in the desert its whole life. But man, said, when do you see a 51 Kaiser anywhere, let alone an estate sale? Okay, well here's another Econoline Shorty van. So it looks like it doesn't have an engine because you can see the front end's pretty far off the ground. Not sure I want to crawl up on those boards to get video on the inside or not. So it looks like they might collapse. Man, this would probably be a neat project for somebody looking for a really cool van. It's got some funky bumper that somebody custom made. Looks like it was last tagged in Oklahoma in '93. So a lot of these cars, some of these actually have out-of-state plates. Oh, that quarter panel there looks like it's pretty well bondoed. And when I come around the front, let's see if I can get through here again. Oh, see, all these wood planks the guy put down are just collapsing. I mean, I don't know how they think they're going to get these vehicles out of here in 2 days. That's kind of what they're giving is like a 2-day window to get everything out of here, which will be amazing because a lot of these are just like jigsawed in here. But yeah, you can see the cracking on the front piece there, so that's looks like it's probably been bondoed and fixed at one time. But it's still a restorable van. Hey, someone could grab that and have a pretty sweet buggy van going down the road. All right, so going back to the back of the property, I found a couple El Caminos. This one's been stripped of a lot of stuff, but a lot of stuff's available for these, so this could probably be put back on the road, believe it or not. And these aren't getting any cheaper. Here's a later El Camino. This is like a 68 or 69. Front end's a little crinkly, but like I said, you can get new fenders for it. So all ready to swap in an LS. And it doesn't look too bad. Oh, there's actually that's a Trans Am or a Camaro Z28 hood, I should say, sitting in the back. Doesn't look too bad. I said it's definitely a project, but I mean the upside is these are very, very popular cars to restore. So the parts are available. There's the second gen Econoline. This one says it's a 69, but that's not a 69 grill. Someone might have swapped it out. It's got a sliding door. This one's a 200 model, not the 100 model. So it's not a shorty. Not sure I want another second gen Econoline since I already have one. Let's see if I can get the door open. Coming on the inside. Check out the tiny steering wheel on this guy. But man, I don't know if it's got the engine in it, but it does. Looks like, oh, it's got some seats probably for one of the other vans in here. But I don't know. It looks pretty rust-free. In fact, the key's still in the ignition, so maybe it was actually driven here and parked. Who knows? And the roof isn't bad at all. So I said it looks pretty straight and no rust. So I'd say, hey, that's a cool project, but I really don't want another second gen. Although I'm sure somebody will get this thing and hopefully put it back on the road. Like I said, there's a lot of really cool vans out here, and check out this early Chevy van. It's kind of hard to get a good angle on it because of where it's wedged in, but it's a black plate, has a Costa Mesa frame on it, and it's an early Chevy panel van. And this one, the bidding's already up to 1,000 before the, I think it's close to 1,000 even before the preview started, but you can see why. I mean, it's all there. And it looks really, really bitchin'. I mean, the body is really straight on it. Okay, they did put like a piece of metal there. I'm not sure why. I don't know if there's rust under there or not. Let's look. Yeah, that roof's coming up. Never mind. So hopefully somebody didn't bid on this thing before the preview and doesn't realize it has like that much roof rust. But it does say Costa Mesa on the plate frame, so it was a Beach City vehicle. So that doesn't surprise me. But looks like they put the roof back on this one, which unfortunately would be very time consuming and expensive to repair. But other than the roof, the rest of it is actually fairly decent. It does have the window doors on the barn doors on the side there. But unfortunately, that roof, ooh, that is not good. Someone's gonna be in for a very unpleasant surprise if they bid on this thing and they're not actually they don't actually come to the preview and check this out. So anytime you see a car in auction, if there's a preview, you got to go check it out or send somebody out to check it out, because this is a really good example. This van is already bid very high before the preview, and it does have quite a bit of roof rust on it. But man, other than that, it's just a really awesome van. All right, another early Econoline, but this one's actually an Econoline pickup truck. This one's got really, really sweet patina on it, though. If you look, the inside's there. I'm not sure if the engine's intact, but it is. This one's got the utility box side. So as Econolines go, they made them, you know, with the regular flat sides, and they had some with the utility box. So like your phone companies and utility companies used to use these. These aren't as popular, obviously, as the ones with the regular sides, but this one's cool enough that I think you get away with it if you got it running and driving. Just left the really awesome patina on it. This is like a really cool truck. And the tailgate's missing, which a lot of the times they're missing on these. And unfortunately, they are not reproduced, and they are quite difficult to find. In fact, the guy might have bought this just for the tailgate and then left it out here for all I know. I could see that happening, especially on the utility box side one. But can't really get inside it. But it's got like a later stereo or something in there too. But yeah, the body isn't that bad on this one. But sucks it's missing that tailgate. All right, so I was able to get the door open on it's a 65 Econoline pickup truck. If you look, yeah, it's got a later stereo in it. And it is a 3 on the tree. It looks like the pedals to the floor, but the motor is actually there and the radiator's there. Looks like pretty well intact. It's got a doesn't have the original air cleaner on it though. Actually, there was a bunch of welding rods in this sack here, and I was able to kind of use one to get that thing open because I couldn't get my arm in there enough without using the welding rods. But since it's a complete truck, I mean, this thing looks like it was driven in here and parked here. So this is definitely a really, really cool truck. All right, so there's another example of an Econoline pickup truck. This one has the tailgate, but I don't know if I can get back there. This one looks like it's had some body work done to it over the years, but this one does have the regular side, which is a much more popular thing. But check out that dash. It's got like a full like 2-way radio setup with a cassette player. This one's had a lot of like weird custom stuff done to it. This one comes with a whole bunch of junk in the back. And this one actually does have the tailgate. See, that's why they're usually missing, because they tend to rot out right there. They collect water in that lower part. So they are very difficult to find. I'm kind of amazed no one's tried to reproduce one yet or made something that would work in its place that would look good. But this one's definitely something that can be put back on the road and fixed. It does have the engine in it. So, and then here's another Econoline first gen van. This one does have the engine, the radiator, everything's in there. It's got one side pipe. Since it's a straight 6, it only needs one pipe. And it's got a funky rack on the roof. But come around the back, it's kind of hard to see. I mean, like I said, these guys really crammed everything in here tight. The back doors look good. And I said it's a very, very dry car. Might have even been originally from the desert out here. And let's have a look inside. Let's see here. So yeah, it's got a you got an upholstered center cover here. Let's see here. And it's got a 6-cylinder motor. So, yeah, this one's not too bad. It's got the paneled out roof. So that one's definitely a possibility. We're going to be watching this. This actually auction goes up tomorrow. So I'll be watching it and seeing what the prices are here. Now this one's actually not too bad. So for a first gen, it's actually a decent condition. All right, here's one I'm sure is going to go pretty high. This is a 60s Chevy panel. It's got the vent on the roof. So this one, like I said, looks like it's been out here in the desert. The rust isn't too bad. It looks like the lower corner there was repaired at one time, as most of them were. This one's got the buckets and a little console there, and it's like fully paneled in the back. So probably something was done like in the 70s. Keys in the ignition, and it's a 3-speed. I think this one was already bid up pretty high, which, I mean, they do go for money, and this would make a really cool, like, hot rod for somebody. And everything you really need is there. I mean, all the other stuff is available from your truck parts places that handle stuff for the Chevys. And there's a Corvair ramp side pickup, and I actually used to have one of these. And the way this works is that gate opens and it flips down onto the curb when you're loading stuff like lawnmowers and things like that. And as I found out, it's not good for loading like Vespa scooters. It's completely useless as a shop truck for Vespas. But the one I had, this one looks like really nice patina. Like this paint looks like it'll clean up. It has been repainted. You can see that runs in the paint, so it's not original paint. But it might actually clean up pretty well, or if you get somebody to look at all those drips. And kind of a neat trivia, the one I had, I actually sold it to Jay Leno and he fully restored it. So it's very neat trivia. But I actually did sell a Corvair ramp side truck just similar to this one to Mr. Jay Leno. I'm not going to try to climb back there. It looks like there's a really nice mid-60s Ranchero. Unfortunately, there's a lot of junk in the way. And a Turismo and a Clark Cortez motorhome. Those are kind of neat. They're all metal, so they're very rust prone. So I don't know if I can see from here. Yeah, look, the rust. I don't know if you can see it. It does have rust on the roof as they normally do. But I mean, you just get a sure, you know, this is just one little section of this auction. There's just like so much stuff, and it's all just like, hello. It's all just like scattered everywhere. But a lot of neat stuff. We're gonna go check out this Econoline here, this little window van. All right, so you're probably getting sick of the first gen Econos, but we're just gonna go through this quick. This one's actually got a side step, so it did have seats in the back. That was so when you open the door, that step would actually fold out, and your kids could jump out of this. But it's like all the seats are actually missing, and they just stored a bunch of junk in here. Windshield's cracked, but it's all there. It's actually got rear doors are not the best, so it would need a new rear door if you could find one. And it's got a Schlitz sticker on the back. That alone is worth the price of admission here. But check that out. It's pretty straight. I don't know if I can get in there to lift the engine cover, see what's going on under the engine compartment. But someone wants to get into like a 60s van for not a lot of money. This is probably a good way to go, depending on whether it's complete mechanically. That looks pretty complete to me. It's like it was just, all these look like they were just driven in here and parked. This one still has the original AM radio in it even. But kind of a cool van. Unfortunately, too bad about that windshield. One would have to be tracked down, but not a terrible van. This is a real oddball. This is an International Scout. Looks like they customized it. So it's got a Street 6 engine. And not sure in these years. I know I had a 74 Scout with a 6 and it had a 258 AMC. So check these. Man, they made a panel out of it, and then these actually had a removable top. Oh, look at the rust on that. Man, this thing is pretty bad. It's another example, because on mine this looked pretty good, and then when you get here, you can see the rust, you can see the cracking and everything in the Bondo from whatever they did to make those flares and do the custom body work. This thing's a crispy critter. It's probably not something that'll get restored, but be a good parts scout for somebody, I guess. That's like a 49 Plymouth. It's got really amazing patina, but looks like something fell on it, and it got a big old cracked windshield. It's got the original flathead 6 in it, which I checked, and it does turn. So it looks like it was fairly recently running. If you look at the chrome on the turn signals, it doesn't look that bad, like it's been sitting outside for years. So someone might add those turn signals to it. But the floor's a little rotten, which they usually are on these, and it's a little dirty, and it's very, very sun-baked. But it's, I don't know, would it be a good builder? It'd be cool to get it running, just leave it the way it is, all patinaed. So there's some more, I have to really put extra taillights on it. I mean, the chrome on the back, this piece right here, look at that, the pot metal's not even bad on it. Be a great parts car for somebody that's doing one of these. But man, like I said, with the engine turning, I think this thing could probably be brought back and put back on the road and just leave it all cool and messed up like that. But it would have to be bought at a very, very low price though, especially with the pillar being smashed in. I mean, this is flat glass, so you could get that, or there's the one that was at my last junkyard video out at the pick apart in Ontario is actually still there. You could actually go out there and pull that windshield out and stick it in this. But man, it's cool. Not a valuable car, but really, really cool nonetheless. Here's a 1976 Chrysler New Yorker. seen better days. It's also got a bunch of back fees. So it's got like $750 in back fees owed to the DMV. It's like it was sideswiped. But this is kind of the epitome of like Malaise era luxury, and you just don't see these. Last tagged in 2007, it says. So yeah, it'd still be in the computer. The guy's missing a lot of the titles for all these cars, so I wonder if he just like lost titles on everything. I don't know. Who knows what happened. But I said, definitely a weird, interesting 70s car out here. There's a Dodge A108 van. It's got like some sort of hatch right there. I don't know what's going on with that. Supposed to let more air in or what? Let's see, it comes on the inside. It's got like a sunroof, but only on the passenger side. And it's got the full-length rear view mirror. I've actually got one of those that came off of my old Pacer. But I don't know, it's mostly there. The engine is not. Looks like someone took the carburetor off and rats made nests in there, and the radiator's missing. But it's got an oh crap grab handle on the dashboard. And it's definitely a cool boogie van if someone wants to. That's probably the carburetor they took off right there. But man, it's all wood paneled on the inside. This one is not rusty at all, and it's a panel, 108. So this could definitely be a really cool van for somebody, especially since there's no rust on it. You'd have to figure something out on that motor, but other than that, I mean, body-wise, I would just clean this up and run it like that. There's a little bit of rust right here, but nothing terrible. But it's really a presentable van the way it is. Here's a 72 Ford Ranchero. So this is like the Torino Ranchero. It's got the fish mouth. One year they came that way with a 302. Missing the radiator, but the body looks pretty straight. These are pretty sweet. It comes with your very own straight six in the back, which is a GM straight six. So who knows what the story on this is. If it was running and driving, you pulled the radiator out for something else, but there it is. There's a Chevelle, so judging by the taillights, it's a 71 or 72. A little bit of rust, that's really nothing. This is going to go for good money because you can get that front clip. You can buy those brand new, especially they remake these body shells. But this one's got like a small block in it with the Corvette valve covers on it. Definitely something that can be fixed. I don't know if it had an engine fire or what. It's pretty blackened right there. But I mean, oh, this one actually got hit. Look, there's some frame damage. Once again, this is why you come to the viewing, because you see stuff like that. So there's some frame damage there. But I'm sure you can get like frame parts for this thing, because you get everything for these Chevelles, and someone will use the VIN to put another Chevelle or this Chevelle back on the road. All right, looks like it had some of these cars under some sort of covering, but it failed over the years. Here's a mid-60s Thunderbird, like a 64 to 66 Thunderbird with the roof chopped, and then they put little T-tops there. So someone did a lot of custom work to this car. This thing's just absolutely wild. The windshield's out. Who knows if they even... Oh, they did. It had a windshield. I'm guessing that reel fell on it, which you'd have to have another one made since it's chopped. But what a crazy custom Thunderbird here. Someone could probably get this and put it back together. And sitting in the next shed here, there's a 63 Galaxy. This one was actually already bid really high when I checked. It was up really, really high. This guy's got seats and stuff everywhere. You really got to watch yourself when you're going through these sheds, especially since it might come down on you. Coming over here, oh, this is a 427. So this one looks like it is a factory 427 car. That's why it's getting bid pretty high. I don't know if it's a 4-speed or not. If it is, this is a very, very rare muscle car. Oh, look, it's got a 4-speed in it. This is a really neat car with the console and the bucket seats. Wow. This is going to be a really awesome car for somebody. I can't afford it. But really, really cool. And he's got a Corvair in one of the sheds. Let's check some of the bikes he has. There's actually a few bikes scattered around, some CBs. Here's like a, looks like a CB, what is this, a 550? Yeah, I think it's a 550. This is a CB 550. I actually had one of these. Unfortunately, I had to sell it. Had a really nice one. some Volkswagen parts. There's another CB. This one's like a 450. Yeah, it's a CB 450. He does have some bikes. I don't think any of the bikes are in the sale though. So I keep looking to see if he has any scooters. If you look, I mean, it's just. I've been here for 2 hours going through this stuff, and I'm not even. I haven't even like. I think I'm getting towards the end, but who knows? Because everything's just a maze. There's a 55 Ford. Actually, I saw this one online. I was actually getting quite a few bids. If you look, it's got like an Autolite sticker in the window. Looks like they opened up the wheel wells. And looking online, I think it had like a tilt front end, but it's also got an old school roll cage in it. So this is like somebody's old drag car. And I looked online, they had a picture of the engine. It has a Y block, but it's all disassembled. But man, the patina on this thing is just awesome. And it is like an original old school drag car. See, with the back seat missing, with the, I don't know if the door opens or not. Nope, it doesn't. But if you look, it's got the hood pins. And I think he had it set up like this whole, I think it's a tilt front end or something like that, if I saw online correctly. But what a cool Ford, man. We need to put this thing back on the road and leave it looking like an old drag car. But it is kind of shoved back in here in the shed, unfortunately. It does have some Bondo on the roof. There's a 61 Chevy Belair 4-door sedan. This one's already, I think, up to around 2,000. It even comes with an electrical box on the where the air cleaner should be. But yeah, this thing's kind of neat. It looks like it was probably running and driving. They took the radiator out. I'm guessing it has the cover on that so nothing gets in the car, which tells me the engine's probably still good. But definitely still a project. But kind of a neat item. Here's an early 50s Chevy Tin Woody. This one looks like it's mostly there. It's out of Washington State originally, according to the license plate. But it's like 3 on the tree. There's no power glide. And wow, it's just really awesome patina. I mean, I would just get it going and just drive it like that. What a sweet ride. Let's go over here. And of course, she's got a little Volkswagen square back there. That one actually looks like it's in really good shape. It was last tagged in 01. So that would probably be an easy one to get on the road again. This one, man, this thing, ooh. Yeah, it's been sitting, but it's pretty darn sweet. And then there's a 1956 Ford station wagon right here. This one's already bid up way too high for my taste, but it's got the Y block in it. It's got a cracked windshield. I'm pretty certain those are available, and this is all flat glass here where it's cracked. It looks like it's got later bucket seats in it. But man, the body is up. Never mind, the roof has a lot of rust on it, so that would have to be fixed. Once again, that wasn't really visible in the looking at online pictures, but this definitely has some rust issues on the roof. So once again, that's why you go to these viewings to check out the stuff before you actually go crazy bidding on it. But still, I mean, it's restorable, and this would be like a real cream puff when it was done. In fact, my dad had a 56 Country Squire with the fake wood on it. That was a pretty sweet wagon. There's like a 67 Chevelle 2-door with a 327. Not a super sport. But definitely a good project for somebody. And a Corvair station wagon. These are extremely rare. I think they only made these like 2 years of the run of Corvairs that they made the station wagon. I think there's another one somewhere, but I haven't seen it yet in the auction. Like I said, this stuff is pretty well scattered. Another early Chevy van. This one's actually a window van, so not as desirable as the orange one I filmed earlier. But this one doesn't have the roof rust that the other one had. But check this out. It's even got black plate. It's last tagged in 93. So yeah, that's definitely savable. Something that someone's gonna get a hold of and do like a full resto on. Now here's that early Chevy van. This one's not terrible. Let's have a look inside. Looks pretty original. The radio's missing. None of the seats are in the back, but it has the radiator and the engine is intact, and it's that little straight six. So, you know, if that motor's no good, you can easily find another one. This again would be a really cool van for somebody. It's got tinted windows that's starting to flake off. It was last tagged in 1994. It's got the old KLOS 95.5 stickers with the party animal. Man, this is actually a cool van. See over here, we just got another. This guy had a lot of Corvairs, man. All right, here's like I think it's like a '63 Ford Fairlane station wagon. This one's got the straight six in it. This one's actually been getting quite a few bids. This fender looks like, oh, look at that Bondo. Once again, another thing you wouldn't see in an online, the online pictures. But other than that, it's decent. Be a good builder for somebody. It's a cool wagon. I would say you'd have to find another fender because that one's already been fixed once and looks like the Bondo's cracking pretty bad. We're going to do this as a continuous shot. Here's the other Corvair station wagon. Once again, these are rare, and this guy had two of them. Another Greenbrier Corvair van. So this guy's really into weird stuff. Here's a Opel station wagon. I think it's a Monza. This one, unfortunately, someone cracked some of the glass, and this piece is not flat, so that would have to be found, and good luck finding one of those. This is neat. This is a '62 Chrysler Windsor Sedan. I popped the hood. So this has got a 361 in it. Factory air conditioning, power brakes. I mean, it's a Chrysler, so it's going to be pretty well optioned. This thing looks like something that was driven in here. Interior's kind of shot. Has the underdash air conditioning, keys in the ignition, power windows, just to make restoration even more fun. Oh, the door's not shutting. Great. So it does have a little bit of rust there behind the back window. And coming back here, it's like it's last tagged in Arizona, so that's why it's such a dry car. It's last tagged in 1987. So it might be something that could be gotten running pretty cheap and roll it on down the highway. Here's that Opel. Wow, look at the Bondo on the back end of that. You'd have to find another deck lid, and good luck finding that. So continuing with the stream of consciousness thing going here. There's a couple Beetles and a Citroen over there. The Citroen's pretty well roached, but a rare car nonetheless. So 57 Plymouth station wagons. This is definitely one I wanted to see since I've got the 59. It's like the spare tire cover is kind of rusty, which on mine it's really good. The guy put some poles here. It's like he's got some sort of a pole or something that goes there, maybe for an awning, and he mounted a camping rig or something up here, a storage rig up to the top, and it's got a tow hitch bolted to the back bumper. So kind of interesting. This one's already getting some bids. I think this was up to $1,300, which I'd expect it to go higher because these forward look cars are getting really popular. It's got the AC unit under the dash, and I'm trying to see how he mounted this because I refuse to believe that it's just clamped on there, because that doesn't seem like that would work. Let's go inside. Oh, door not opening. Yeah, I'm betting he put some bolts through the roof for that. And, well, not a big deal. It could be welded up. But, man, this is a neat car. It'd be like having a Christine station wagon, except it's a 57, not a 58. And let's have a look under the hood. I think it's up. Oh, I don't want to break the hinges. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. Okay, there it is. So, got us a 318. Looks like it's got some weird thing coming out of that air cleaner. And like a weird overflow right there. Yeah, this definitely has a lot of old man engineering in it, if you know what I mean. Which usually you start finding stuff that's been old man engineered, and you keep finding stuff that wasn't done exactly correctly. But I'd be worried they bolted this through the roof, or that he cut something out. That door's not opening either. Push button automatic though, power steering car. Definitely something that is savable as long as the roof isn't shot. And it's got a little bit of side swipage on this side. My 59 is probably in better shape body wise, but this one's a 57, which I think is slightly more desirable. Although I really like my 59. I'm actually gonna have to get it on the road pretty soon and start tracking everything down for it. But this one definitely savable. All right, well, continuing with the Ford look cars, there's a 1960 Plymouth Fury. They said the hood won't open, so I'm not really going to try. It said on the ad on the auction online the hood won't open on this one. So it has the engine in it, the front end sitting low enough. This one needs a complete restoration, but to find one of these fairly rust-free out in the desert is definitely a bonus, as they were prone to rust. And this one is mostly there. It's got Compton dealer frames on it, so it's coming to you straight out of Compton. But overall, body-wise, not a bad car. Definitely savable, especially since it's a 60 Fury 2-door hardtop. Needs a lot of the dash pieces. You'll be tracking stuff down for it, but guess what? It's totally worth it. This is a really awesome car. And I think it's already bid up to $4,000, so I'm definitely priced out of there. I'm sure it's going to go up even higher. There's something a little funky. This is a Volkswagen Beetle limousine. It's kind of like an unfinished project. If you look, they sort of extended the pan out and added to the roof. It looks like something that was actually never finished. But talk about funky. And here's a kind of like it's like this used to be like a Cal style bug or something. Look at that pink color. That's pretty wild. And there's a Citroen from the I think it's the early 50s or late 40s. It's really, really rough though. I really couldn't see someone restoring this, but definitely a good parts for somebody. The engine and transmission are all missing, but still, you don't see a lot of these over here on these shores. Continuing with the weird theme, here's a mid-60s Ranchero that they extended the roof line on for some reason and added a back seat. So it's got Ranchero badges. So I don't think they just took a wagon and then altered it with a Ranchero back end. I think they took a Ranchero and just lengthened this, put the seat in, and made kind of like a little truck bed, similar to like a Chevy Avalanche or something. But kind of an oddball. It'd be cool to see it put back on the road just the way it is, because it'd definitely be a conversation piece at car shows. Another cool Ford, this is a 57 Courier panel. It's got some sort of a 6-cylinder in it. So not a V8, it's got a 6 in it. Once again, it's totally restorable. Looks like someone had the pinstriping done on it at one time. I see some lettering there like it was used for business or something. I'm not going to try to get in there. It's got a floor shifter in it, but body-wise doesn't look too bad. I expect this to go for some good money, because these Couriers are kind of hard to come by, and they make cool hot rods. It's like the handle and everything on the gate is, and the lock is missing. But rest of it's there. I mean, that could be Frenched in, or it could be filled in to make it look more custom, as long as you put like solenoids for opening it up. But not too bad of a 57 Courier. All right, so that's going to wrap things up for the Lucerne Valley state auction, with like literally hundreds of cars everywhere. I got most of the stuff I came really to look at. A lot of stuff that I thought was interesting. Obviously, I mean, there's just like hundreds upon hundreds upon hundreds of cars here. I couldn't get video of everything, but I'll be doing more videos of car stuff and different things like this, or car shows when they start up again. So if you like what you see, be sure to like, subscribe, and leave a comment as what your favorite car in this video was.